Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Somebody give me a sound check. Let me know you hear me okay. And then um let me know if you guys are seeing the screen. So give me a sound check, give me a screen, tell me yes, and chat ask Boris. Good morning, Connie. Hey, how are you? Okay. Um we have ECB going on right now. Looks like basically, the market is not taking it as dovishly as we thought. I think this is not a bad place to go long here at 1800 if you guys want to do just a ECB thing, because she's sort of reaffirming everything that is said. So if we go late 1800 just for 5-10 points, which could be very feasible right now, it's worth it. We flipped over the there you go. There's the 5-6 points, 7 points. If you took that trade, that was good. The day's highs are off this level here, the 1813. So that's another area that we really kind of want to watch. Let's see if they take it out, because if they probe that level to the upside, we can also trade that as the session high. Basically on the idea that market anticipated all the dovish stuff, and the euro is kind of bouncing back. It's very much a nothing burger press conference. There isn't really anything here that she's saying that the market has anticipated. So a lot of it is just simply mispositioning and short covering. In other words, people may have positioned short in front of it, thinking there's going to be more dovish stuff, and there really hasn't been. So so they're kind of short covering it out of the way. But until and unless we take out the highs, which at this point, these are the post, I believe these are the highs. Let's just make sure. Let's go to full. I think they are the highs. Maybe I'm wrong. Hang on. Let me see what the session highs are. I could have sworn they were. Let's see. Yeah, they are highs. These are the yesterday's highs and session highs. Right now, we're not interested in yesterday's highs. Really, only interested in the session highs, which is around 1813. Basically, the idea is if they're going to run it that high, they may squeeze it all the way to 1830, 1840. So we may want to trade it from that perspective. But until and unless we get that move, we're going to leave the euro alone. I haven't heard anything in her presser that I thought was extraordinarily newsworthy. Let's see if there's anything in the news that let me go into juice, see if anybody's focusing on any particular segment or strike here. Inflation to grow much more in the following months. Actual versus estimate, Bank of Russia, blah, blah, blah. Not much. Any exit at this time would be premature. That's all very expected. We're still in the mode of crisis. Would be opposed tightening of financing requirements as incompatible, blah, blah, blah. It's all very much for rates to increase, inflation cannot be below 2%. That's, effectively, I got to tell you, that's effectively a BOJ position that they're going to be in a permanent QE. So I don't, it's hardly euro bullish, but neither is the Fed is not bullish either. So there's nothing really to show us. Keep an eye on the euro. I'll keep an eye on the side of it. Let's take a look at the NQ right now. NQ also not really doing anything. We're looking for the 9 o'clock trade here as our opening session trade, and seeing if obviously we'd have to go up then down to create another sell signal for us, because right now this sell signal was too early. It was too premature. And I want to actually what that sell signal was. That was at 39, goes up to 44, comes back down to 32. So yeah, it's very, very choppy. Really super quiet session in the equities land. Dow is unwinding actually a lot more. It's interesting. So the Dow is a little bit more negative. Dow obviously already has a couple of sells against it, but again, I very much doubt we're going to get a sell prior to the 9:30 rollout. We have to see how the reaction, the opening market reaction is. Let me just see what the. I'm actually curious. I'm just going to go to the 5-minute chart just to get an idea. Is this? Are we at? Yeah, we are at. So the session low. We're at session lows here. Okay. So 1616 is the session low. By the way, I don't know if you guys traded the session high, session lows. There were so many great scalps yesterday after we closed up shop. I traded a little bit more, pulled the account up a little bit more. I'm trying to get it up to, and we'll see. I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm trying to get up to 10%. But we were in the 700s, now I'm up in the 800s, just off the scalp trades alone. So Euro, by the way, kind of inching. Let's keep an eye on the euro. Somebody text me in the room. If euro gets to about 110, somebody text me in the room because I'm not paying attention to the chart. But that should be an interesting chart to trade. Because if they kind of take out the highs here, that would suggest the market is just basically priced in all of the dovish rhetoric. We'll see. I mean, there's clearly not much market moving information on here. Let's see what Forex Live is saying also. I'm just curious. Yeah, and Lagarde is hardly hawkish, but the market anticipated the dovish stance, and maybe it's just not dovish enough. Maybe she's just not doing it. There's no additional structures, so the market is just positionally too short, trying to squeeze itself higher. The euro is definitely pumping up here. The euro is like the most interesting trade here right now. Let's watch this. Let's get long. Okay, let's just get long here around 8. We already banked the 7 or 8 points. Let's get long here around 8. Let's see if we can get up to 20 on this. Either it works or it doesn't, but it's a reasonable trade here. Let's see if they can run it through the highs. I'm not really listening to what she's saying, but I'm just watching the price action, and it, certainly seems like they want to squeeze it higher on just mispositioning. So long 8 here, trying to see if we get anywhere somewhere around 20. Anticipating obviously the breakout, which not always a great idea, but in this case, I'm relatively okay with it because we have a catalyst behind us. And let's see if they're going to move off the catalyst here. Meantime, we're probing fresh lows, I believe. 32 is 32 the fresh low? Let me just double check this. Let's see if we go to full screen in this on a 5-minute chart. Is that the fresh low for the day? We were lower. We were like right here. No, we're pretty much at the lows here. Okay, watching the fresh lows here on the so 32 would be the low of the days here. Let's watch that carefully. All right, we're hitting 12. All right, we could probably take like half off here at 14 for a +7 or +6, and then if you guys want to hold on to the rest, be my guest. So we'll take it here. Yeah, looks like we might, and we might be able to get the rest of the 20. So, you know, we're out at like 14, 15 from 8, which is 7. Hold the stop at 7. Let's see if it just pushes a little higher on the move here. But that was a relatively intelligent trade to make, given how positioning was. Let's see if we can actually make it to the 20. That would be really nice. All right, let's take the rest here for plus 10 at 18. So that's pretty good. I mean, I think it might run higher, but you know, we just, you know, we're not going to be greedy. We're just going to take our structural trade here and go with it. So that's, you know, that was pretty good. We took the positional trade, and it's, you know, it's actually really good. You kind of really understand. You know, probably going to go to 20 here. You kind of really understand that it's not fundamentals. It's fundamentals plus technicals plus positioning. And in this case, the fundamentals did not bring anything new to the table. The technicals were already kind of grossly oversold, and the positioning was definitely mispositioned because everybody was anticipating perhaps more dovish statements. And they aren't going to, you know, add more PEPP. Yes, they're going to stay in perpetual QE, but then so is everybody else. And so far, there's nothing here that spooked the market. So if those of you guys who are holding, you're actually, you know, now in a considerably bigger trade. But what made the trade a success was that we were waiting for the highs to get taken out. We were waiting for that clearance. That, you know, that the price gave us the permission to run with our thesis. And that's what made the trade so good. All right, so that was actually very good. We usually don't trade FX, but today FX was the main story, and we took out like 15, 18 points out of this thing, depending on where you guys got out. Anybody take the euro trade with me here? Let me just recalibrate now back, because we're going to go back to Gary. Anybody take the euro trade? Or is everybody just too busy watching charts to talk to me in the room today? Okay, well, everybody missed the euro trade. Okay, fine. But you know, it was a great example of our scalp strategy at work, right? Euro, and while I'm talking, I'm missing the scalp to the downside. Let's sell this. Let's sell this for 5. Let me see if I can sell this. Selling at 31s. I'm trying to buy at 26s because, you know, it did hit the lows, making fresh lows. Let's see if, you know, I'm kind of I was a little bit late on this, but let's just, you know, a little bit chasing because I was focusing on the euro. But let's give this a shot for like a tiny amount of pre-market positioning. I don't like to trade in front of the market open, because the market open is always going to kind of squeeze me the other way. But we are making fresh lows here on trend, so I want to follow that at least a little bit and see if it works itself out. Although probably the much more intelligent trade, because I'm just, you know, I wasn't, you know, really paying attention. No, Dow is not there, so Dow needs to be at around 16 to come down. And this trade may have been just too late. The trade should have been around 32s. It really didn't give us much, so may not have been a perfect sell here. Generally, if I don't have any if I don't have a session set up in front of the opening bell, I probably should have just stayed tight. Let's see if this plays out. So the other thing I'm kind of watching here is we made a bottom here, we made a bottom here, made a bottom here, made a bottom here in the Dow. I may just spec on the Dow here to the upside, just for a quick, like 10 points. Just because, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, and that should be pretty good. Let's see if we can make 10 points in the Dow. Where am I? Was that 58 as my target? Let's see if I can make 58s on this. And the reason why I like, I like these kind of scalps is, once we kind of bottomed out, tested the bottom to a higher low, this generally gives us some scope for extension, not always. But, we made fresh session lows. We couldn't make any more fresh session lows. So there's a reasonable chance here that we should extend higher. I'm basically trading, there's two ways we can trade the lows. When we can do a continuation, or we can scalp against them for reversal. And they're both great scalp trades, right? So 55, there we go. We got done on the Dow, all right? The NAS isn't going to work for us. I mean, NAS was just me chasing it a little bit too late, but that's fine. Dow was plus 10. This is like minus 10, so we kind of scratch out on the indices when we start. But generally, obviously this was a much more intelligent trade. These trades were very probative, didn't really hold, and we're also right in front of the market open when you have a lot of jittery trading here. This trade was very clear. You had a session low, another session low, and then a higher low off the session low, stabilization. So you really had it. Now the power shifts to the buyers. You can literally almost see a small head and shoulders over here. So that's a really worthwhile, like a head and shoulders off a session low. Classic technical analysis, but with session low structure, definitely provides us much better entries. Now, Miguel, just take the Dow. Are you guys all going to watch me today, and nobody's going to trade today, which is fine. There are like days where you just want to hang and not do anything. But the Dow was a good trade. The Dow was just a clean, clear trade. It actually was good for like 20 points. I only took it. Connie took a Dow with me. What'd you make? You make 10 on that? Because that was good for like 15, 20. 5. Okay, good enough. All right. Still putzing around. Still no signals. Look at a euro. Oh, look! I knew look at a euro going. So euro was honestly, my analysis of currencies, even though I haven't touched currencies in so long, has become so much better ever since I started trading indices and beginning to understand the auction process, positioning process, and all that stuff. So much of the game is poker, not what am I trying to think of? Not chess. It's like it's about bluffing rather than tactical positioning that matters. And and it was clear. They try to push it down. They got bluffed out. Now everybody squeezed them the other way around. I don't know if that's really a great analogy, but you get what I mean. What's a game where like it's just pure skill and nothing else? I'm trying to figure out. Like, give me a game that requires where you win strictly by skill and no luck. I don't know what the comparison would be, but anyways, the market is definitely not it. Okay, we got about 10 minutes to the open. Nothing much going on. Kind of hanging in there. Let me know what you guys are doing. Just going to watch prices for a little bit here. You know what? I'm not going to do any more trades before the open. This is a really good time for me to actually take you through what I've been doing on the FX side. Chess. I guess chess is a game where it says pure skill. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Market is much more poker than chess. What do I want to tell you? Oh, I want to show you just I don't, you'll have to trust me on this because I'm not going to go through every case, but let's just go, okay, let's just actually go to the pound. Let me show you what I've been doing. And I've only been doing this with euro, but I actually ran this on the pound and it traded super well. Let me give you just like 3 sample. Let's go to the 12th of July. This is the market opening continuation trade. Remember the 2 o'clock trade we do in the 2 o'clock trade that we do in equities. Well, that same 2 o'clock trade can be done in FX as well, right? So if you are trading, here's pound. This is actually the 12th. You're in at 85. You barely survive this. If you just traded with a 10-5 move, but you know, you sell 85s, it goes like 93, just barely survive it, and then dips all the way down here to 78, which would have definitely gave you the +5. All you're going to go is -10 +5, like clockwork. But you go, this is a 12. Let me just take you. I'm going to show you like basically. Trust me on this. You can run the charts yourself. But I'll just show you like 2 samples because we have market open coming up soon. But if you ran this for the last 2 weeks on the pound, the 2 o'clock entry. Again, you have to have the prior confirmed, right? So at 2 o'clock, here, this is a 110. The 2 o'clock entry here is 310, right after 2 o'clock. Prior confirms, it's a sell signal. You go short here, +5. Another one. There were 10 possible trade combinations. In a couple of those, you didn't have any confirmations. It was just going up and down, up and down, up and down. You stop trading at 5 o'clock. So if there is no a valid signal between 2 and 5, you just walk away from the trade. But at 2 a.m. in the morning, this is the European Open trade. If you did this trade for the last 10 trading days, you were 7 for 7, 7 for 7 in the pound, 3 for 3 in the euro. I've been doing this in the euro continuously. 3 for 3 in the euro. So super good accuracy. Obviously, this is not going to last. You're going to have losers. But the point is, as long as we're, 7 out of 10, we're net positive in the trade. It's just a very, very well-defined, really great functional trade. The whole idea is whatever is the flow at the start of the European session, especially if that flow is confirmed by a prior signal, meaning that there was already pre-selling, and there's selling starting at 2 o'clock or post 2 o'clock, there's going to be more continuity to that. There's going to be at least 5 points of continuity with less than 10 points of retrace. That's really the whole trade. The whole trade is there's going to be at least 5 points of continuity with less than 10 points of retrace as a 70% bet. That's your whole structure on the 2 o'clock trade. We do the same thing on equities. You can see this on equities here. Today, actually, the equity trade did not work for a very interesting reason, And I want to show this to you. So the equity trade, we're at 2 o'clock, right? And we have a buy signal, but it's not confirmed. It's got a sell signal in front of it, right? It's a very wonky situation. If we didn't have this sell signal, this would have been a beautiful buy signal for a move up, right? But it's not confirmed. So we have to wait for the second buy signal, which is much too late. At that point, it just, it stops you out. You actually, if the algo just took this at 4 o'clock in the morning, it was too late. It was the trend just didn't have a lot of continuity at that point. But here's an interesting wrinkle to all of this. Remember that we also look for session high, session lows. What do you think that session high was? The session high was right here. This was the session high. So Control Z, is that right? Yeah, Alt H. This was the session high, right? So my sort of manual interpretation or intervention of all of this is if you are, you're up and you're looking at this setup, you don't have a confirmation, but you have a break of this, break of the session highs after 2 o'clock. Take it. So the point was, even though you didn't have the session signal, you had the session high signal, and that was good enough to make that a viable trade. So that was kind of an interesting variant today that we saw. that I think we should all keep an eye on. It's not. Trust me, it's not like it happens all the time. Usually, most of the time, it actually it's confirmatory, and it totally works very well. It's been working super well for the last 4 or 5 sessions. Today was the first session where if you took it mechanically, you would have failed. But if you added that whole element of like, oh, maybe I don't have a signal, but I have a session high break signal right after 2 o'clock. Yeah, I want to run with it. Or I have a session low break signal from 2 o'clock. I definitely want to run that. Because why? Because we're trading flow. We're trading the first wave of flow. We want to ride that first wave of flow to profit. That's what we do with all of these setups, right? We're just trying to ride the wave of flow the price action is showing us in an intelligent manner. So let's go to 2-screen setup structure and just follow. Oops, sorry, I got to go to the YM here over here. And let's see where we're at. Get my thing. Yes, I do. We have this going. Okay, so we're in good shape. So we'll see what this takes us. So I guess there was no discussion of PEP, which is why the market decided to get a little bit bullish on the euro. But basically, there was no additional dovish information, and when there was no additional dovish information, everybody in the euro was aligned negatively, and that created a nice big vortex to the upside. Well, we got 3 minutes. Let's see what's going on here. Market's kind of turning around. Let's see if the euro does its, let's spike up, then come back down. Very little. We're really, I got to tell you guys, the next month is going to be, could be a really boring. Well, it might be a boring month, or it might be a really volatile month if the markets start to get jittery. But if the markets are going to stay calm, they're not going to move much. I think everybody's going to the beach. A lot of people are going to be away. Liquidity is definitely going to disappear. So we're going to have to just, ride out the waves in a manner that the market gives us. Right now, you already start to see a little bit of a slowdown in the price action here. I bet the ATR, which was like 200, 250 a day, is probably going to shrink to like maybe 100, 125. It's a massive shrink if NASDAQ does that. So we'll see. What's the timeline here? All right, got 2 minutes. Let's see what the market wants to give us. Jonathan, is that clear on the 2 o'clock trade? Are you clear on that? Okay, cool. All right, minute to trading. Might as well take the clock off. Just watch the markets. Let's see what's going on over here. I don't know why I have all this drawing stuff. What's all this? I don't know why I have all these, remove all these drawings. What is this? Well, okay. I don't know why I have those little wiggles, but I'll leave them alone. All right, market popping on the open here a little bit, and then doing a reversal and popping. Let's see what's going on. Actually, interesting to see what's the session highs. I think session highs was in the 80s. Was it in the 80s? No, maybe it was higher. Actually, I take it back. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. So let's just mark. We're going to mark the Globex high. Globex high was in the 80. Yeah, Alt H. Okay, that's the Globex high, and this is the Globex low. Alt H. And so we'll watch that. Come back to the 1-minute chart, and that way at least we'll know. We'll have a reference point. And over here, I think this is the Globex high. Let's go to the 5-minute chart. Yeah. That's the Globex low. And we're really extending. They're really running the NAS. Nice. Okay. Oh. Wow. Should we chase the NAS? All right, I'm gonna chase it see if I can get 5 points out of here. I'm in 65 on this big move. Let's see if that if this move this move is probably going to fake us out. This, as usual, I always fall for this move. It's definitely not the Globex high. It was through the 830 high, but let's see. Maybe I get lucky. No, I got lucky. Good job. We took 5. The Globex high is right here. Let me just actually take this down. Let's get this bigger. It's not quite there. It's still all the way in the 80s. That's quite it's quite a lot away. So we got to give it a little more time. If I go full screen here, actually watching the Dow also, because we got to watch the Dow 613 as the Globex low. Let's look at this. It's really pumping. Where's the Globex high? There it is. Globex high is at 79. It's quite a, that would be a massive extension. It'd be really hard to want to buy this because it's so extended on the move. But it's the power of the opening move. Anybody take the 5 with me on the NAS? As usual, we're doing a reversal where the NAS is running up, the Dow is running down. I'm watching the Dow. Dow's getting close to the Globex lows. Let's see if we want to trade the Dow. This is kind of interesting because I'm actually kind of interested in this trade, because if the Dow sort of holds here ahead of the Globex lows, it's a really good buy, not a sell. Let's see. You know what? I just took this 410. Let's see if we could just take the Dow. I may be premature. This wasn't a great looking candle. I was a little premature. I may have been like a little too eager here to dump. This is a 5-minute bar. God damn it. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm on a 5-minute bar. That's why I was like, why is this is not looking the right way. Sorry. Okay, that trade is probably not going to work. That trade did not work. Sorry. Now we actually coming into the lows. Okay, NASDAQ is sending us a 9 o'clock buy. So we really have to just trust this trade. on a 9 o'clock buy. Okay, I'm gonna get long NASDAQ. This is a 10-20 trade. I can't fix my tens. Sorry, I made 5. I couldn't make the full tens. And the Dow broke. Should have taken the Dow too. Okay, I'm selling the Dow probably late because the Dow broke and I couldn't do it at the same time. That's got to be like a 40. I can't adjust these trades. So annoying. Okay, let's see if I can make the Dow move here. This should be a 40-20 trade. I was late on the Dow. Remember I said I wanted to break the 16s and I got in way too late. So now I just have to see if I can make 10 out of this thing. And I'm going to, okay. So yeah, we made the 10 on the Dow, made the 5 on the NAS because I was like all over the place. But the NAS I think would have been good for full 10. I just didn't, yeah, NAS would have definitely been good for full 10. So session opening break worked on the buy, although I just realized I gave you guys wrong instructions. Okay, let me, in the heat of the battle, there's just too many moving parts for me to keep track of. I actually made a mistake that worked in our favor. I actually didn't realize that we had a sell, that this buy was non-confirmed, right? We're looking for a 9 o'clock opening buy that's got to be confirmed. So this became basically, this worked out great, but it was really, I shouldn't have taken this trade because it was non-confirmed. On the other hand, oh no, it hasn't even been at session highs. On the other hand, if we get to 79s or higher, then we got to be buying those session highs. This, on the other hand, was a classic trade. I should have just simply been focusing on one chart. This is the problem always. Even at 2 charts, you kind of you lose track of instrumentation. Let's watch this now. Let's watch NAS. NAS buying. And I can't buy. I'm too late. No, I'm going to buy it here. I'm going to buy it here. Bought 77s. Let's see if I can. I can't even see if I can make 5s on this. I was late. Just pierced it. So not holding the session, not taking out the session high because it was really overextended. Maybe we get lucky and they sweep it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they bring it down to the moving average envelope and then come back up to the trade. And that's just part and parcel. You're not always going to get the every scalp working today. The Dow was a clean scalp because it was right there. The NAS, no, not right now. NAS just took us out, but I'm going to go back in because I actually think this is going to work now. I had too tight a stop on this thing. Let's see if I can make a 10 on this thing. On these session highs, you really can't have very tight stops. Let's see if I'm right on this. Oh, I'll make 20s. All right, I'm just going to focus on NASDAQ right now and ignore the Dow for the time being. Let's just see what we can do with a NASDAQ. All right, I'm going to take 5 on a NASDAQ. It's probably going to go higher, but I mistimed this trade, and I wanted to just get something proper out of it. In the meantime, there's definitely like a 9 o'clock session confirmation trade in the Dow. But here's the problem that I don't like. This is the reason why I didn't want to take it. Probably was correct. Remember when I said, like, this trade, look at this sell signal. The sell signal is literally on the session low, right? When it's telling you to sell off the session low after you've had such a big move to the downside, the chances of you getting stopped out on a retrace are really high. And even though, structurally this is correct, you have a 9 o'clock signal after 9 o'clock confirmed by the sell, you're going to get stuffed, because this just like in the other one, it was correct to take the breakout move. Here, you're basically selling the breakdown move after the signal. The signal sort of like gives you the bottom, and it's just not going to work. So you have to ignore this simply because it was just so grossly oversold. So we didn't get much extension moves, but we did get some extension moves off session highs. The session low here was a great break originally. And kind of like the rule is, if you made money on the first part of the setup, don't press the second setup, because the second setup is kind of selling into the lows or selling into the highs. You're extending it, Like similarly on this way, made good clean money on the buy side, and I really pressed the session high because that was like right afterwards. And you don't want to do the same trade twice at a worse price, because your probability becomes less. Although, if you're patient enough to kind of hold this still looks very constructive. If your guys are still in the trade, it could be worth 10. I wouldn't be surprised. All right, what I want to watch on the Dow now, I'm actually kind of curious, is how well the Dow is trading now. Like if it doesn't, if it holds these lows, right? Like this is a session low. I actually want to trade the Dow. Let's see if we can trade the Dow to the upside. Yeah, let's just for 10 points. Just for 10 points. Let's see if I can make another 10 points in the Dow here, because we're holding these lows. A little bit of short covering. I just need to see 34. Let's see if I can see 34. Maybe 29, 31, 34. Good. So that worked. And by the way, while I knew that finally we broke out to full-on session highs. So as I said, you can only focus on one thing at a time. So 10 in the Dow, the Nasdaqs we made before. But regardless of whether you took the Dow or the Nas, all of those were working. Anybody trade the Dow? Anybody take Nasdaq? Anybody done anything here? I know Miguel took the Nasdaq. Connie, did you take the Dow with me on this move up? You took the Dow, yeah. And I mean, you could see how analyzing session highs, session lows, and the reaction function off of this. I mean, this is now. I mean, I had a feeling it was gonna run here, widely, and it definitely did. It definitely gave you a big run here. So yeah, full opportunity for the trade. Now we're kind of going to twiddle our thumbs, I think, mostly, because we're all through. I mean, we could try to press the session high here at the 95s on the assumption they're going to run the round numbers, the 1490. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to this. We could set this up on the Nasdaq and just see, if they take out the 95s, we'll get long with them, but that would really only be for 5 points. Let me just reset this. It seems to be like when I'm in trade, this thing has a really hard time controlling itself. But we'll give it a shot. Let's see who wants to run the 95s. Holding back off the round numbers, they pushed them off a little bit. So, they just, round one, Bulls versus Bears. There'll be more. There'll be more. They repelled them so far, but let's see. I have a feeling there's going to be a second buying wave here. One thing I kind of want to watch on the Dow. Sorry, let me just look at this. Where was the Dow? Oh, Dow was interesting. Yeah. I was going to show you. So the opening range high was around here, the 85s, and that ran all the way up to 99. And now they kind of they ran the short squeeze. They ran it all back. But I'm actually interested not just in the Globex high, but now in this 34,700 high, because this effectively is the opening range high. This is the New York session high, which is just as important in trade. And if they're going to run it through basically, if they want to run it through 34,700, I want to be long on that trade. We'll see how they line up. We'll give it a couple more minutes. In the hour, let's see if they get a second wave of the buying. But Dow is really really good. Yeah, there was no trade. Jonathan, Jonathan, was that the NQ like a while back, or are you two on the NQ just now? That was a while back. Because because there's no trade now. You notice I haven't pulled the trigger. I haven't. I haven't touched it. I was going to tell you one other interesting thing on how to analyze. We actually, well, let me. Oh, hold on. It's hard to trade and teach at the same time because I got to watch everything. I was looking at the Dow because I want to see. Dow seems to be climbing. If the Dow climbs to 3,700, I want to buy it. 34,700, I want to be buying it. Nas is definitely flaming out. All right. Let's just assume that nothing is going to. There's not going to be no more setups right now. I want to show you something really interesting. So remember, I showed you kind of like, okay, hey, this is a inverted head and shoulders on a 1 minute. Lower, higher, lower. Right. Great possibility for us to go. The beautiful thing, usually we always trade from the sell side. In other words, we want to be buying these kind of turns because obviously stocks are always skewed to the buy side, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this pattern only needs to be to the buy side. If we have a session high with a head and shoulders, I don't have a session high here, but okay, let's just amuse me. This is obviously not gonna. This is the Dow example, but before this was a session high. This was a session high, right? Let's say this was a session high. So we have a low, a session high, lower low over here, right? And if we got short over here, right, on the break, kind of like a inverted head and shoulders, that at 68, you have a 20 stop, 10 target, totally worked. They're down to actually worked all the way down to 58 right over here. So my point is, look at the chart. Um, don't look at the chart as it's up or down. Just look at it inverted all the time. Um, look at it in relative to where are you. If you're on the buy side, you're trading against it. On a reversal, you're looking for session lows. On the sell side, you're looking for session highs. And if you get a head and shoulders pattern on that 1 minute chart, that's a great place to go the other way, because you have your session lows as a reference point. Just like you'll see this throughout the day. I do this all throughout the day, but I didn't get a chance to kind of talk to you about it because we don't get it to do it in the first hour. But throughout the day, you're going to have these points where it's kind of made a session low or a session high, and if it hasn't pushed through to a fresh high, you really have a general sense for for a good trade. Like for example, right now, we basically build. We have a high. If we come back up here and then fall back through, generally, I like the way I kind of look at it from our indicators. If we fall back to the lower end of the moving average envelope, in other words, we build up a high shoulder here, and then the candle closes through the low end of the moving average envelope. That's a great short, because you already have that reference point as a failure. Then you have downside movement going through. But it's only against session highs or Globex highs that you want to be trading this. Now we just honestly we're just treading water. We're doing nothing. We're midfield. There really is no trade, and there's no point in taking guess trades. So, here we are. We're kind of like running up. Let's see how much price action we get over here. Very quiet day, as you can see. Very little directional movement. We're kind of chopping. We set our initial opens, initial closes, and now we're just kind of chopping around, trying to get some directional ideas. Watching it down here a little bit. Seems like we're building a higher low. Maybe we'll take one last trade. Let's see. 32 seconds. Let's see how this candle builds. All right, what I do? I went 22. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if this works. This may not. I don't know if I love this trade, but let's give it a shot. It was halfway decent trade. We did make a higher low here, but it could be on a way to retest the lows anyways. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how this is trading. It's all over the place. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna get out of the Dow because I don't like this. The price action may work, but there's it's not a great trade. There's no point of ruining the trading session with stupid trades. Remember, I try to stay out of stupid trades. It's not really a setup trying to force something here. I actually, it could work here, but it doesn't matter. So we'll just flatten out on that trade and just let everything else go. The more interesting trade is going to be like around here. We're going to try and make a second run towards the session highs. We start to fail there. That second run failure towards session highs. That's going to be a much more interesting trade to the downside. So we'll see. And it was good that I got out of the Dow trade because that was just a complete loser had we held on to it. It was actually, it was actually yet another sell signal, which would have had continuation for us. Okay, we got nothing else going on here of any grand interest. Let's watch the rest of the day. There should be some interesting setups here, both as possible reactions against the highs or continuations through the highs, both ways. But apart from that, not so bad. We had great trades in the Dow, and decent trades in the Nasdaq, and a really strong trade in the euro when we opened up. So overall, pretty decent trading day today. I didn't count all the points, but I'll go back, and I think we definitely made like 20 or 30 points in the Dow, and at least I got stopped on 10, so I made 10 back. I think probably at least 10 points on the Nasdaq and another 18 points on the euro. So really good day. I'm trying to always get us to 20 points a day, and we've been consistently at like between 30 and 35 points since we started doing the scalping. Any questions, guys? Anything else on your mind? Anything you want to do? Here, let's give you the floor. Any questions here? No? Everybody's too busy watching charts? Okay. Yeah, Ziz is exactly it. We're all sleeping. All right, guys. Hey, Cheryl. I haven't seen you today. Do you take any trades today, Cheryl? I'm sorry about that. Hey, where are you? Are you like in like the Mojave Desert or something? Come back to civilization. This is the problem with nature. There is no Wi-Fi. Yeah, see, there you go. Vale. Freaking mountains. That's the problem. Come back to where the real world lives. Anyways, enjoy. I'm sure it's beautiful there. All right, guys. Have a great day. We got trading tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow we definitely trade. I don't have any trading battles or anything else. Everybody have a wonderful day. I will see everybody tomorrow let's tomorrow's Friday, so hopefully there'll be some good action. Watch the highs and lows. That's where all the action is. Okay, guys, watch all the highs and the lows. Other than that, let's not fuck around with stupid trades. Thank you. Everybody have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.